political wing of the IRA, Sinn Féin, have accused the bishop of working with the forces of occupation. One priest has said that he was going against the laws of the Roman Catholic Church.
Dr. Daly announced yesterday that he wouldn't allow Mass to be said in churches in Derry while the terrorist body was there. In other words, that terrorists wouldn't be allowed a proper Catholic funeral service. His ban follows the funeral of the IRA man Gerald Logue on Tuesday, when, despite assurances from the family that there'd be no IRA show of strength, gunmen appeared and fired shots over the coffin. Dr. Daly said he was disgusted that the church and its historic grounds had been desecrated. He said the funeral had been cynically exploited as an occasion for a cheap paramilitary propaganda stunt.
So what effect will the bishop's ban have? Father Pat Buckley from Larne is in our Belfast studio now. Good morning, Father.
Morning, Frank.
Has the bishop done the right thing, do you think?
I don't think he has. I think all of us over here completely agree with him that violence and paramilitary activity is completely unchristian, and we would condemn it unreservedly. But at the same time, the Code of Canon Law of the Catholic Church guarantees that every Catholic has the right to have a requiem mass and a funeral. And in fact, I think the bishop has broken the law of the church on this occasion.
Do you think lots of priests in his diocese think like that? Are they going to ignore his instruction?
I doubt if they will ignore it, because that would mean, of course, the wrath of the bishop on them. But I think an awful lot of priests in Northern Ireland who have to deal with people every day at the pastoral level will be very unhappy about this development.
But you can understand his objectives, can't you? He's trying to preserve the sanctity of the church premises.
Of course we can. Of course I can. And I think that the bishop and the clergy have a responsibility to keep gunmen and paramilitary trappings out of churches.
So how would you do that?
Well, I think that it can happen by negotiation with the families and with political representatives. I worked for 5 years on the Falls Road in Belfast.
Sorry to interrupt you, but that's obviously not true. We heard the negotiations on television over this last affair, and it clearly got absolutely nowhere.
But I think that's true on this occasion, but you must remember there have been hundreds of funerals, and on most of the occasions of those funerals, the guarantees given by the families have been honoured, and this has been an exception in the church grounds, and I think it's very, very regrettable and very wrong. But you must also remember, Frank, that very often when a young man is killed under these circumstances and discovered to have been a member of a paramilitary organisation, that comes as a great shock, in fact, sometimes to his mother and family. And I think that this decision by Bishop Daly is actually making it very, very difficult for the family itself. So I don't think that it's going to achieve anything. In one sense, the church here in Northern Ireland has had quite a deplorable record in leading people in peaceful ways of tackling injustice, and I would be very afraid that this decision by Bishop Daly will alienate many more moderate people.
Father Buckley, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.
Some more